The following program, The Russ Belville Show, is intended for responsible adults only. We advocate to the repeal of marijuana prohibition for adults. We discuss the science, culture, and controversy about America's marijuana laws. We do not advocate any illegal activity and encourage all listeners to learn their state and federal marijuana laws. Opinions and claims made by guests and advertisers on The Russ Belville Show are their own, and The Russ Belville Show cannot be held legally responsible for their validity or reliability. Viewer discretion is advised.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth. Hey!
Spanning the continent to bring you the truth about cannabis and marijuana law reform.
I smoke pot and I like it a lot.
From the promise of legalization.
I think that we need to rethink and decriminalize
To the agony of prohibition.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
The Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Yeah, I hear you had a question for me.
Now, here's your host, Radical Russ Belville.
All right, good day, tokers and tokettes, and welcome. It is Thursday, January 31st, 2013, and it's got to be my 45th birthday. Not only that, it's Mason Tavert's birthday, too. I don't know if y'all knew that. Me and Mason Tavert have the same birthday, as well as Justin Timberlake, Portia de Rossi, Nolan Ryan, Ernie Banks, Jackie Robinson, Suzanne Plachette, Portia de Rossi, Tallulah Bankhead comes to mind. There's a few of them that celebrate our birthday, but today it's all about me. So happy birthday to me. It's also the 5th anniversary of this show in one form or another. Daily Audio Stash, Normal Show Live, Russ Belville Show. Here we are. And you may hear some extra applause going on here in the studio audience. That's because we've got Wiz Khalico here today.
Hey, hello. Aloha, everybody. Doing great.
I've changed the car on because I got to put a Wiz Khalico car on.
All good. I'm happy to be back, and happy birthday to you.
Thank you, my man. And, of course, we've got Brian the Red hanging out here as well. How you doing, Brian?
Hey, I'm here.
Whoops.
I'm never on one of these mics there. Howdy do.
So many microphones, so little time. So, there we go. Did I get the right one?
No.
No. There you are.
Great to have Khalico here.
Yeah, we found you. Okay, so welcome to the show, everybody. We're going to have ourselves quite a show today. A lot of stuff to get to for our special birthday celebration. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm sorry. Can I add one more birthday for today?
Oh, yes.
My good friend Mike, the laid-back lumberjack. If you guys ever listened to Ivy Island Hour back in the day, it's his birthday today.
Me and Mike have the same birthday?
Yes, you and Mike have the same birthday. We're going to be hanging out a little bit later on, so happy birthday to the laid-back lumberjack.
All right, we're just going to have to party laid back.
Yes, sir.
You give us a call here later on.
Dabs
all sorts
around.
of stuff coming up on today's show. I have got highlights from the past 5 years. My interviews with people like Tommy Chong, the late Gatewood Galbraith, John Popper from Blues Traveler, Miko Hester Perez, Stephen D'Angelo is coming up in the interviews, Representative Jared Polis, all sorts of highlights. We're just kind of taking a look back over the past 5 years. Coming up next, we've got your 420 radio news, all sorts of interesting headlines in the news today, and Daily Toker Tune today, Groovin' Thursday today. What day is it today? Groovin' Thursday today. And I got a submission from the guys at DFW Normal, Dallas Fort Worth. And as an extra bonus, we got a CD from CI. We're going to talk about that and behind the headlines in our Brave Michaela auction. We'll play one of their tunes as well. Stick around at the Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Good day, tokers and tokettes. Radical Russ here to encourage you to help us help Brave Michaela by visiting our benefit auction all this week on 420radio.org. Michaela Comstock is the brave little 7-year-old girl fighting leukemia who gained national attention for her use of medical marijuana to cope with the symptoms of chemotherapy. Go to 420radio.org and click on the benefit auction in the main menu. There, you'll find all sorts of memorabilia from Rolla J Studios, as well as Cumulus and Canasig vapor pens donated by Rapid Fire Marketing. You'll need a free or VIP membership to 420 Radio to participate. Click on Join Us in the main menu to sign up. Finally, if you'd like to meet the little girl who's benefiting from your generosity, enjoy the special free episode number 150 of Toker Talk Radio featuring Michaela and her family. Thanks for showing the cannabis community cares. Cancer ain't cheap, you know.
California is the center of marijuana consciousness. That's why High Times Magazine is returning to the Golden State for our second High Times Medical Cannabis Cup in Los Angeles. That's right. Come to LA Center Studios on February 16th and 17th for this high-flying event. Meet the medical cannabis industry, visit our extra special medicating area, and sample the best cannabis products of Southern California. There'll be cultivation seminars and presentations about getting pot legalized, not just in California, but everywhere. Be there on Saturday evening when we host a Rock'em Sock'em concert with surprise musical guests. And don't forget Sunday night and the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup Awards when we honor the best sativa, best indica, best hybrid, best concentrate, and best edibles of the LA medical cannabis scene. Plus, we present the High Times Lifetime Achievement Award to marijuana superstar Tommy Chong. Come to the City of the Angels on February 16th and 17th for a High Times cannabis celebration. Go to medcancup.com for details. Live the high life. Be proud of who you are. Be part of the growing cannabis community.
Now it's time for your 420 Radio News for today, Thursday, January 31st, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Hawaii lawmakers to hold hearing tomorrow on a bill to regulate and tax marijuana like alcohol. The bill is modeled after a successful Colorado ballot measure, and it would take marijuana sales out of the underground market, generating $20 million annually in new revenue and criminal justice savings. This from Mason Tvert at the Marijuana Policy Project. The Hawaii House Committee on Judiciary will convene Friday to hear testimony on the bill introduced by House Speaker Joseph Souki, Democrat of District 8, to regulate and tax marijuana in a manner similar to alcohol. The hearing on House Bill 699 is scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time in House Conference Room 325. In summary, the bill removes criminal penalties for the private possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana and for the home growing of up to 5 marijuana plants in an enclosed locked space. It establishes a tightly regulated system of licensed marijuana retail stores, cultivation facilities, product manufacturing facilities, and testing facilities, enacts an excise tax of up to 15% on the wholesale sale of marijuana applied at the point of transfer from the cultivation facility to the retail store or product manufacturer, and requires the Department of Taxation to establish rules regulating security, labeling, and health and safety requirements, as well as rules governing how best to prevent diversion of marijuana to those under 21. South Dakota bill seeks medical defense for marijuana charges. This from the San Francisco Gate. 2 South Dakota lawmakers with roots in law enforcement said Thursday that people charged with possessing small amounts of marijuana should be able to defend themselves in court by arguing they need it for medical reasons. Representative Dan Kaiser, Republican of Aberdeen, a police officer, and Senator Craig Teason, Republican from Rapid City, a retired police chief, told a South Dakota House committee that their bill would not legalize marijuana or set up a system where people could get it for medical purposes. But they said people suffering or dying from cancer or debilitating diseases should be able to use medical necessity as a defense if they are arrested for possessing 2 ounces or less of marijuana. Asked about the proposal at his weekly press conference, Governor Dennis DeGarde said he hadn't read the bill but didn't like the idea. Quote, "I don't in concept support the notion of a defense like that. I think it's tantamount to legalizing medical marijuana use. It's something the voters have rejected and that I personally reject as well," the Republican governor said. South Dakota voters in 2006 and 2010 rejected medical marijuana ballot measures that would have given patients suffering from debilitating diseases legal access to marijuana. Poll finds most Americans support treating marijuana like alcohol. Even more think the feds should let states do so. This from the Hit and Run blog at Reason.com. As the Obama administration mulls its response to marijuana legalization in Colorado and Washington, the latest Reason Roop Public Opinion Survey finds that most Americans think the federal government should not interfere. Asked if the feds should arrest people who use marijuana in the states that have legalized it, 72% of respondents said no. More strikingly, by a margin of 2-1, the respondents said the federal government should not arrest newly legal growers or sellers either. Opposition to federal interference was even stronger than support for legalization. While 47% favored legalizing marijuana for recreational use and 53% said the government should treat marijuana the same as alcohol, 68% said the feds should leave state legal growers alone, and 64% said the same about state legal sellers. These results indicate that some people who oppose marijuana legalization nevertheless believe the choice should be left up to the states. Georgia Marijuana Reform Group reaches out to the governor. This from Woodstock Patch. Advocates for marijuana law reform are calling on the state of Georgia to suspend the arrest and prosecution of marijuana possession cases, according to a recent release from Georgia Campaign for Access, Reform, and Education, or Georgia CARE. The call comes after state prosecutors said they lack the resources to prosecute a backlog of child exploitation cases in a January press conference. In Georgia, possession of more than 28 grams of marijuana carries up to 10 years in state prison. Roswell police deal with their share of marijuana cases on a daily basis. In a letter to the governor, Nathan Deal, from James Bell, the director of Georgia CARE, he asks the governor to direct state agencies to suspend the arrest and prosecution of marijuana possession cases and use the limited resources on crimes against people and property, particularly child exploitation and violent offenders. And that's your 420 radio news for today, Thursday, January 31st, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we're going to go behind the headlines on our Brave Michaela auction. It's still going on. Visit us at 420radio.org and look for the benefit auction link. Get your bids in now. New items have been added and some prices have been lowered. So check it out now. Help Brave Michaela fight leukemia and support this brave little young medical marijuana patient. We'll be right back after this.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the only way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak to my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at www.omarfigueroa.com.
I'm Subcool from Team Green Avenger. At TGAgenetics.com, we are working on the leading edge of medical strains. Our strains are rigorously tested for THC, CBD, THCV, and other critical cannabinoids. Know your grow. Check out our genetic diversity at TGAgenetics.com, the home of Jelly Bean, Jack the Ripper, Vortex, and other award-winning cannabis strains.
All right, folks, time for us to go behind the headlines, and all week long we have been participating in a benefit auction for Brave Michaela Comstock. You can check her out at bravemichaela.com, and all of us here in the studio, of course, Brian the Red's been helping out as well, and we're all trying to raise money for this family, because cancer ain't cheap, folks. It ain't cheap at all. And we've got some new items in the auction, and I had some questions about the auction that I got from people online, so I thought I would take just a little bit of time to help people through this, just in case they're having any difficulties. All you got to do is go to 420radio.org and create yourself an account if you want to be able to get involved in our online auction. Now, one of the advantages of being on 420radio.org is that we're not linked into any of your Twitter or Facebook or any of that stuff. So this is all private. So when you're creating an account here, you got your own identity, and nobody needs to, it doesn't need to show up on your Facebook wall where your family or your kids or anybody's going to see it. This is an insular, contained setup here online. So 420radio.org. And when you get there, if you're not already logged in, just go to where it says home and then my account, or you can go to join us and free membership. So just go there and you can create yourself a free membership, and you have to have a membership to get involved in the VIP auction. So you'll see a page like that, free membership, and then click here to begin your free registration. And once you're logged in, you can then go to the benefit auction. And on the benefit auction, you'll see some of the prizes that have already been, there's, cute little Michaela there, but you'll see some of the prizes that have already gone out, that have already been won by some people, autographed High Times magazine, some Canasig vape pens, Sneakatokes, and so forth. But some of the items that we still have available include some Ganja skateboards. You got to check these out, folks. Ganja skateboard decks. Brian the Red is the Oregon rep for these guys, and they got all sorts of really nice designs. Here's the Great White design that you can take a look at. Got the big shark on there, muscle shark, and then all the ganja leaves toward the bottom. There's the Jamaican Pearl deck, green and yellow and red, all Rasta colors with the Jamaican Pearl in the middle of that deck. These are all 30-inch decks, 30-inch by 8-inch, I believe, is the dimensions on them. And then the Granddaddy Perp deck is still available too. Nice purple, god-looking ganja skateboard there. So those are up for bid as well right now at our 420 Radio benefit auction for Brave Michaela. This is something I found in the archives, sitting in the shelves back here. That's kind of cool. A GAC Attack glass cleaning brush and accessories. Can you grab me that GAC Attack so I can describe it a little better? Because just seeing just seeing the package doesn't really tell you what's in it. But this thing comes with an 18-inch round head brush, a 12-inch flat head brush, an 8-inch round head brush, a whole bunch of pipe stoppers, a Mama Hemp custom pipe pick, and a funk-proof resealable bag. And it is also designated a Henry Hemp earth-friendly product. So this GAC Attack bag, I've had this for, I don't know where even I got it, one of the shows I did or something. But it's all these brushes and stoppers and stuff for cleaning out your bongs, cleaning out your pipes. $10 is the opening bid on this thing if you want to get the GAC Attack. Never been opened, never been used. So check that out, the GAC Attack brush at our benefit auction here for Brave Michaela. Also, let's see some other gear here that's kind of cool. These Phoenix Tears. Now we're starting to get some bids on these Phoenix Tears etched glass storage jars. These are some beautiful jars. And I apologize for my photography because I only have my little cheap Cricut phone here. Let me see. I'll switch over to I'll switch it over here to Brian the Red here. We'll get him on camera. He can show that off for you live. But it's these Phoenix Tears jars. You can see the nice Phoenix that's inscribed, etched, I guess, onto the front of that. And then we've got the lid has Phoenix Tears on the top of it. Now we got two of them. One of them's medium, one of them's large, but really put them up side by side. The difference is not that much. The medium is like maybe a half an inch shorter, but they're still about the same diameter. The lid's a little different.
Yeah, the top there is a little different. There's a little more space because of the contour of the jar.
There we go. So, but you're gonna fit
cool jars. You're gonna fit at least an ounce in these.
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff gonna fit in there. You're gonna be just fine with that. And we've also got, let's see what else we've got happening here in the auction that's still available. We have a few different autographed 2010 Seattle Hemp Fest guides. And we're going to get, oh, by the way, Kaliko, before you leave today, you have to autograph everything.
Okay. No problem.
I'm trying to get the whole roll of J. Crew. We'll have to drive by Ganja John's.
Happily.
Get him to autograph all this stuff too.
Happily.
That story.
But we've got all of, we'll drive to Astoria, we'll get Carrie. Yeah, exactly. So let me switch that cursor. There we go. So we have all these HempFest guides from 2007, 2008, 2011, and 2010. The one with Jack Harrer on the cover, the 2010.
Yeah. That's
a sweet, sweet one. And we'll autograph these. It's got the listing of me being a speaker there. And again, this is it's not that, this is worth so much, but it's that you're giving money for a girl who's got cancer. Okay. And so if you can help out any way you can help, we would really, really appreciate that. We've already raised about $200 so far through the auction, and we'd like to get that to 420 because, that's the way we roll here. We're all about the 420. We also have but before that, we can't even get to that. Union rules dictate that not only do we have to take a 20 after break, but it has to involve oil on my birthday, I understand. Mm-hmm. That's one of the little-known concepts.
The socialist rule.
Yes. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
Randy boy, Randy 190, boy.
Here's some special music for your 20 after break. This is CI, Dinner of Herb, the Zeb remix. CI have donated 5 of their CDs to the Brave Michaela auction. There's some music from them. Enjoy.
Randy boy, Randy 190, boy. Randy 190, boy. Randy 190, boy. Randy boy, Randy 190, boy. Want to say, Randy boy, Randy 190,
Not now, Jenny. The Germans are up to some crazy shit.
Okay, I just wanted you to know.
What, Jenny, what?
It's the Americans. They've passed the Marijuana Tax Act. Basically, they've levied...
Did I say you could sit?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Jenny?
sir.
You could sit down, Jenny. It was a joke.
Good.
What were you saying?
They've passed the Marijuana Tax Act.
So, it's illegal?
Well, not exactly, but it looks like it's heading that way.
Let me get this straight. These little jerk-offs, they discovered what happens when you roll this stuff up and you smoke it, and they just came to a decision that nobody's allowed to do this? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
What is wrong with them? Huh? I can't. I mean, this is like the most awesome shit. Who do they think they are, huh? Going around saying, you can't smoke this, you can't do that. Huh? I mean, have I ever said, thou shalt not smoke the ganja?
No,
I don't remember saying that. You want to hit this?
Maybe later.
They're just going to sit around and not smoke this awesome shit that I designed specifically for their enjoyment. Jesus Christ, talk about a slap in the face.
Hey, did somebody say Jesus?
No!
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Groovin' Thursday, featuring rap, hip-hop, soul, and funk music. You can get downloads and more information about all our Daily Toker Tunes by visiting music.radicalruss.com. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tune.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's 28 past the hour, and we already had one toker tune for the day. That was C.I., and the song was entitled Dinner of Herb, Zeb Remix. And they have donated 5 of their CDs to the Brave Michaela auction, so we very much appreciate them doing that. Thank you very much. If you're an artist or you got something there you'd like to donate to the auction, that would help us out as well. Just send me an email, russ@radicalruss.com, and we can make that happen. All right, for our Groovin' Thursday tune today, I've got something from my friends out there at Dallas-Fort Worth Normal, DFW Normal, who are just knocking it out of the park on marijuana activism. These are the guys, they got the Truth vehicle, the 420 Truth vehicle. They've got the boat now. They have Hydro, the normal boat. It's just awesome.
They just kill it out there.
Oh, yeah. And
Sean McAllister is a workhorse and an amazing guy on the web design and doing video stuff. Like, they're just great at promotions.
Yeah, and a tough place to be doing it.
Absolutely.
Dallas. So they sent along a video of their freedom speech, which I'm going to play here as the intro for their song. They actually have a theme song. Their chapter has a theme song now.
Snap.
So here it is. This is some words from Dallas-Fort Worth Normal and their theme song, We Be Normal Over Here.
We be normal, man.
Dallas-Fort Worth, dfwnormal.org. Check them out on the web. Ending cannabis prohibition, one Texan at a time.
Our country's wasted $2.5 trillion arresting, jailing, and killing its citizens with an increasingly militarized police force. We have created a war to force a moral code of injustice on all Americans. The prohibition of marijuana has not only failed in its promises, but actually created additional serious and disturbing problems throughout society. Repealing the prohibition of marijuana does not mean we endorse its use. It is a call for wiser law enforcement and public health policy. Prohibition has given control of marijuana production and distribution to drug cartels and street gangs. This promotes disrespect for law and reinforces ethnic and generational divides between the public and law enforcement. Every year, more than 750,000 Americans are arrested for marijuana possession, far more than all those arrested for violent crimes in America. The cost of marijuana prohibition exceeds $12 billion annually and is failing strategy. There is not less marijuana, but more. there's not less crime, but more. The cost of government is not smaller, but vastly greater. Respect for law has not increased, but diminished. As Texans, we urge our leaders to support the passage of legislation to remove the penalties for the possession of marijuana and regulate its use, production, and sale, as is done with other substances such as liquor. The prohibition of marijuana has kept liberty in the dark for many years. It's time to let it out and ring the bells of freedom, because we are Americans and we will be free.
In the words of William Buckley Jr., even if one takes every reefer madness allegation of the prohibitionists at face value, marijuana prohibition has done far more harm to far more people than marijuana ever could.
Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here.
I'm normal, but this beat ain't. Reverse kill, but that green can't. So I gotta keep a bit of a breeze to relieve the room from all of that leaf stank. The research can be easy, benefits form a deeply. It's mellow, calm, and breezy, or happy, hungry, sleepy. And I know that may sound cheesy, but them hardcore facts. The reason it ain't legal, cause it's impossible to tax. Now that's whack. Bushman, the country was built on Kush blends. I'm gon' promote until something happens, so who gon' have push for the win?
Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here.
Technicalities, normalities. Normally not so chattery, but normal is a reality for recreational occasion casually. DFW take notice. Keep your minds open. It's not just smoking, it's freedom and expressing, so stay focused. Logically and obviously, thanks to hydrobotany, a ton of medical advances check your history disorder chronically. And I'm just stating facts. The truth is taken back. 420 train moving forward, support hopping back.
Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here.
And cannabis prohibition, one Texan at a time. Trying to get a signature on this petition. Just sign here on the line. The Metroplex, release your stress, let's legalize it. Big brother, don't smother another day of my highness. Don't miss the boat, light it up and smoke the boat. Spark some hope, cause normal grows and flows and grows and flow. For the love of the economy, we ought to be industrializing help. Maybe then the taxes could help Washington pay.
Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Why you hating on the shrub? Spread a little love in the BF dub and watch it bud. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Cause we be normal over here. Cause we normal over here. Yeah.
What's happening, cool cats? This is Big Daddy, and I want you to cruise on over to the Funky Roller Rink. We'll be grooving all night long. Doors open at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, every Thursday night, right here on RadicalRuss.com.
Funky-licious.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Will. I don't work at a used record store. I don't own an iguana, although I'm sure they make great pets. I don't have dreadlocks or play the acoustic guitar. I can remember quite well, thank you, and no, I don't constantly have the munchies. When 420 comes around, I've still got 40 minutes of work left. I've never hit a girl on a bike with my car or shot my friend with a shotgun. I've never had to apologize for letting a girl I was watching drown in a pool while I was getting high because, duh, I wouldn't be getting high if I was around children. I'm a regular guy who works regular jobs, just like the majority of all Americans who use marijuana occasionally and responsibly.
You want answers? I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! You want answers?
You have offended my family.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
And you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
You can't handle the truth!
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Radical Rant.
All right, 5 years ago today, I sat in for Chris Goldstein on the Normal Daily Audio Stash podcast for NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, and it began the greatest job and career I could have ever imagined. It sounded like this.
We're ending marijuana prohibition with education, one listener at a time.
Welcome to the Normal Daily Audio Stash. I'm Radical Russ Belville, your guest host for the world's #1 podcast regarding marijuana law reform. Let me offer a huge thanks to your usual host, Chris Goldstein, and to NORML for having me here today to speak with the thousands of you who are fighting against adult marijuana prohibition. It's Thursday, January 31st, 2008, which is of special significance to Nolan Ryan, Justin Timberlake, Portia de Rossi, and me, for today is our birthday. I've just turned 40 this morning, and I couldn't ask for a better birthday present than hosting today's Normal Daily Audio Stash. Well, except perhaps an executive order re-legalizing all forms of hemp and granting amnesty to all nonviolent marijuana prisoners, and given the current administration, I may have to wait until I'm 41 years old for that one. I'm the Associate Director of Oregon NORML, headquartered in Portland, Oregon, one of the many local NORML chapters run by dedicated volunteers who give their time, money, and effort to enact positive cannabis policy at the grassroots level. Find your local NORML chapter at www.norml.org and get involved with like-minded adults who are changing city and state laws to end the harassment of responsible adults who choose marijuana over martinis, cannabis instead of cigarettes, or replace pharmaceuticals with farmed medicine. If there is no chapter in your local area, get 4 of your friends together and start your own chapter. You can learn how at norml.org.
All right, so that was the first show, and boy, very, very strict and very serious recording that, wasn't I?
Yes, very much so.
But I'll tell you, when I was doing that show, I was still working like a regular day job. I was teaching computer software over in Beaverton and had to be at the classroom at 7:30 in the morning and teach till like 4:30, and then clean up the classroom and all that. So get home like 5 or so. So I was recording those podcasts like the first 3-4 months of the podcast. I was getting up at like 3:30 in the morning, putting together all of the news stories, all of the stuff, recording it, editing it, processing it, uploading it, doing the blog post, put on a tie, go teach, then come back, and then, So it was,
good Lord,
to be able to have any voice at 3:30 in the morning is remarkable. And then about 2 months into it, it was like, I love doing this, so I'm going to quit my regular paying job and find another way to keep doing this. And somehow it's all worked out.
Heck yeah, dude. What a wild ride.
Amazing. And I thank everyone who's stuck around here as I've been doing it. Bacon Crispy in the chat room, longtime listener, listened to the old Chris Goldstein show. So he's been for years and years. He came into the studio yesterday And
I saw that. Well, I watched the replay earlier today, and I saw that.
So it's really cool. It's just it's the strangest thing about doing radio. And this, before I got the normal gig, I got I won the national talk radio search in 2006 for a liberal talk radio thing that totally flopped. But I won the national contest, and up until then, I'd always been a stage performer, always been in drama and speech and debate, and you have direct response from the audience. Taking up radio, I was going over to KPOJ at like 6 a.m. on a Saturday, and you're in this little room with nobody. And it's weird as a performer to not get that instant response. So when I get to meet people like Dan and these other folks that have listened to the show, it reminds me that, oh yeah, there's people out there.
Yeah. Shoot, that's how I found you, was on the radio on KPOJ.
Yeah, just talking to people and knowing that, maybe you're not listening live, you're on a replay, or you're listening on the YouTube video or on the podcast during your commute or wherever it is. I get calls sometimes from trimmers. Yeah. They listen to the podcast while they're trimming.
That's good stuff.
So thank you, everybody, for helping me to be able to do this for 5 years. This is pretty remarkable, and I hope to be able to do it for, well, I don't know. I don't want to do it too long because that would mean prohibition still exists.
Well, there's always going to be something to talk about. It might not be prohibition of marijuana, but there'll be plenty of stuff for you to rant about, I'm sure.
Maybe I'll switch over to guns.
Oh my God, can we?
I'll take on guns.
Can we, please?
We got to pull the brakes on that.
Russ and I could do shows for hours. All right.
Well, I got the right on you there.
I don't know, maybe.
There you are. There you are?
Hello.
You're there somewhere. All right.
Well, so you can move to Hawaii with me and do a show.
I'll do a show from Hawaii. That's all right.
There you go.
So I have some clips that I've collected, and I'm just play a few of these here in this hour. We'll take a few of them into the next hour because once I started doing this podcasting job, I got the opportunity to meet a lot of people who, and boy, I could just do clips and clips and clips and clips, but I only pulled out 5 or 6, and I'm not going to say these are the best or my favorite. Some of them are. It's just that, I have to just grab some and go. So here are some clips that I pulled together for today's show, and they are some of my favorites, come to think of it. Now that I look down the list, it's like, no, wait a minute. These are... I just didn't want to offend anybody else that I didn't clip. It's not that you weren't great either. It's just, I got a limited amount of time. So this is a clip of Tommy Chong. I got to interview Tommy in 2009, and what was going down is the DVD of AKA Tommy Chong got stored at these warehouses, but the feds went and raided the warehouses and took all the DVDs, and he was trying to get them all out and so forth. But I got the chance to interview Tommy Chong. Here's a little bit of a clip from 2009. One of the questions that always has to get asked here, and it's been a long-standing rumor, as to whether or not there'd be any future reunions of the Cheech and Chong comedy team, perhaps in a movie.
Well, we're talking again. That's one good thing. We had a 420 reunion at a movie house when they screened Up in Smoke.
Oh, good.
And Cheech was there, and he was very cordial to me, and he's nice. He's not swearing at me anymore. So
that's a positive step, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a positive step, and it looks good. We're not. I'm not going to make any announcements until it's actually happening. But it's in the works for sure.
Well, I would think with the recent success of so many marijuana themed movies, the Harold and Kumar series, for example. I mean, the public would be just aching for that. I'm sure you guys would make a mint if there was a new Tommy Chong and Cheech movie.
Yeah, I have no doubt whatsoever. That we would be doing very well.
All right. And, looking back to your time in prison, talking about this Operation Pipe Dreams, you spent 9 months in a federal correctional facility. What were some of the lessons that you took out of that, being within the system like that?
Well, it was a life-changing event for me. First of all, I had to reach into my spiritual bag. That I always had with me, but I never really went there. When you're a successful movie actor, you're kind of busy with the fame and the fortune. But it slowed me down enough to make me realize, what's really important in life. And then I utilized the time to read a lot, and then I also wrote a book, the I Chong. I wrote that in prison. And even the documentary, AKA, there's a film clip of me, or a news clip of me, talking about, jail, and I said, well, who's to say that jail's a bad thing? You go to jail, you write a great book, That's exactly what I did. And I was talking about that back in the 70s. So the prison thing really was, I would say without a doubt, without hesitation, that was the single most important thing that's happened to my life.
I got a chance to interview Tommy first in 2007. He did a gig at Mary Jane's House of Glass. So before I even did my first podcast, I had interviewed Tommy on a 4th of July thing he had done. And damned if the camera that we had not rented, but checked out from the Metro East, the microphone had a short in it. So the video is great, but the whole audio is like, it's just terrible. So, and then also got to see Tommy at a gig. I can't remember, it was 2010 Cypress Hill Smokeout, where he was on an interview panel with Be Real and some other folks, and got to talk to him then. So he's always been a great guest, always been very, generous with his time. Anybody who's met him will tell you that. But another aspect of doing this gig is getting to meet canna-lebrities, as it were, people in the cannabis movement who are celebrities to us, whose stories, mean so much to us, but, may not be as well known in the mainstream world, as it were. One of those stories is Miko Hester Perez, and she crossed over from our world to the mainstream world on Good Morning America and other shows when it was revealed that she was using medical marijuana to treat her son Joey's autism. He has a severe form of pica, which is when kids eat, well, anybody who has pica eats stuff like clothing or dirt or, non-food materials, right? So he has a severe pica with his autism, and it was eating his shirts up. She treated her boy with medical marijuana cookies, I believe it was. And, soon the pica, pretty much dissipated, and her boy was able to lead a better life. Her story was one of the first of treating kids with medical marijuana, and led to Jeremy Eccles treating his boy who's got autism and the severe autism rage syndrome, and other folks like Brave Michaela who were doing the auction for. So Miko was one of the first to be a pioneer in this, and I got a chance to interview her in 2009. Here's a little clip from that interview. So these medications aren't working like you would want them to, and I imagine at this point you're probably at your wit's end and you're worried about your child, and then you turn to medical cannabis. What led you to medical cannabis, and were you resistant to the idea at first?
Well, considering my son was 48 pounds and he was not a candidate for a feeding tube, and the medical community, certain pediatricians could not give me any answers. What was a thought, and I just thought about it. I said, marijuana, and I said, and you know what? I couldn't possibly be the only parent who has, who's about to go online and do search logic for autism and medical marijuana. And as soon as I did that, a very well-known doctor in the autism community, his findings came up, Dr. Bernard Rimland, and his whole protocol is dietary. And in his findings, he says how this is a healthy alternative to the synthetic pharmaceuticals for our children. And he goes on and on and on about being a responsible parent and following this type of protocol. Yeah. And mind you, I had exhausted all other treatments. Sure. And with autism, each child has a different genetic makeup. So what works with mine may not work with, another child. Yeah. So, I was clearly at the end. And this was, we were 13 medications into finding an alternative.
So how long ago did you start this new cannabis therapy, and what was it like on the first day?
Well, we started 7 months ago, and the first day, within the first hour, it was almost nothing short of a miracle. My son has repetitive behaviors. He would go to the refrigerator multiple times, and all of a sudden, he just wanted to sit in his room and play with his toys. We were sitting in the living room, and it was quiet in our home. And we just stood there, my husband and I, and we said, we're not going to go check on Joey because we've never heard our house be this quiet before. And I got up and I peeked in on him, and he was sitting there playing peaceful. He was calm. And, you know, a lot of people say, or I've heard from a previous doctor that, you know, he was stoned. Well, Joey has a different immune system than the average person due to autism. The autism attacks the immune system. And so you and I would be high. Joey, for some reason, it balanced him out. It was the medication. It was a miracle.
You know,
it was a miracle.
It was a miracle, and it continues to be a miracle, and it's a miracle. It's working for Brave Michaela. Don't forget to visit our benefit auction. Wood Pipes in the chat room has donated some pipes. We'll get those up later this evening. The auction will go through Saturday, and then whatever's left after Saturday, we may do another auction next month. We shall see. The next interview I've got is with a reformer who is no longer with us, the legendary Gatewood Galbraith. And this may have been one of the last interviews that he did. This was from 2010. And of course, he was ran for governor of Kentucky many times. He was all about industrial hemp. And folks, I'll tell you a secret about me. I was a cover musician for 15 years. When I played music, I played bass guitar and sang in blues and rock bands. I was a cover musician. So my ability to hear something and imitate it very quickly is very finely honed. I can do that on a moment's notice. It's very quick for me to do so. And from drama and such, it's very easy for me to memorize scripts. So these are a couple skills I've honed over the years. And you'll find in just about anything I say, anything I do, I am just standing on the shoulders of giants, and I am Mick Jagger covering muddy waters, okay, is really all I'm doing. I'm just trying to put my own spin on stuff that other people have said the same or better than I have ever said it, and Gatewood Galbraith is one of those guys. If you've ever heard me say the war on certain American citizens using non-pharmaceutical, non-alcoholic, tobacco-free drugs, that's because of Gatewood Galbraith, and this little clip will give you an explanation as to why.
Do you see that cannabis as a recreational substance or as a drug, so-called drug, impedes the fight for legalizing industrial hemp because the man can say, well, there's a harm from the drug? Do you see that?
That's what this whole film is about, my friend. It's hipsters plant to see. I wrote a book called The Last Free Man in America Meets the Synthetic Subversion. And what I say today is that the big battle between the natural cycle and the synthetic cycle, all the kinds of commodities of civilization, fiber, fuel, medicine, and food that used to be produced by the farmer from the land, has now been taken over by the synthetic manufacturers, and they did that by outlawing the farmer and criminalizing the farmer in the production of his natural products. So there's a great number of people out there who run the synthetic products that are attempting to keep it from changing, the laws from changing back. I call them the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, and corporate fascist elite son of a bitches who see the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as impediments. There's a lot of people who are setting policy in this country, the United States of America, right now, who have never said the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America or to the republic for which it stands. They're not warm and fuzzy about us or our children, and they see the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as impediments to the implementation of a new world order and global economy. And as I say, I call them the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate fascists elite son of a bitches, who have taken the cannabis plant, which is the most productive and the most valuable plant ever domesticated by man. It's not the answer to all the world's problems, but it sure is iconic in that it's the answer to more than any other plant is. And so they are dead set against the people reclaiming this plant as a heritage and as a tool to make life a little better for everybody. So I think that they're going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at us to try to keep us from making the change in these laws. But I favor what my friend Mark Emery says, and his slogan is "Overgrow the government." And I think that the critical mass has been reached in that, and I think that the laws are going to change. But what we must do is keep it in the hands of the people who are putting the market together right now, and have put the market together, and keep it out of the hands of corporate America. They're up to no good, and we ought not let them have it.
That's Gatewood Galbraith, of course. Rest in peace, Gatewood, and we will get this legalized. We will do it. And to round this hour out, We've got one more clip, and then we'll take a couple more into hour 2. And again, thanks everybody for helping us celebrate the 5th anniversary of this program in its various incarnations. This is show number, if you count them all, it's like show number 1041, something like that. Anyway, this is an interview I did just recently in 2012 with Stephen D'Angelo from Harborside Health Center, and this was a contentious point about legalizing marijuana and his attitude toward legalization, and this was Stephen D'Angelo.
But when you say that words and ideas matter, that's where I point to the problem of calling it all wellness or all medical when obviously it cannot be. When there's a doctor in a tent at a rap show with a stethoscope around his neck pretending to take someone's vital signs, that's obviously not medical to any casual observer who would see that. So I see the framing here by trying to say all use is medical or all use is wellness could be problematic by painting us into a corner by which our opponents can point at a Cheech and Chong movie and go, well, where's the wellness there?
Yeah, well, you and I have been disagreeing about this for a while, and I actually think that's a really good thing. When I started out in this movement, there are so few of us, you could put us in one good-sized room.
That's true.
And, we could figure out what we all agreed on and come up with a unified strategy pretty easy. But now we're a much larger movement, and we're a mature movement. We have many more tools in our tool chest of strategies, and there's a lot of different ways to go. There's lowest priority, there's repeal, there's medical, there's a lot of options. And you know what? I can't think of any single initiative that's on the ballot anywhere in the United States where I wouldn't feel perfectly happy going in and pulling that lever in favor of it. It's not whether we agree 100% every single time with a particular measure or a particular approach. We have to ask ourselves, is this going in the right direction? And if so, let's support each other. You know what? If somebody gets a legalization for recreational purposes initiative on the ballot, I'm going to go and I'm going to vote for it, just like I voted for Prop 19.
Fantastic.
And likewise, if we get a regulate medical cannabis initiative on the ballot, I would hope that people who are more oriented towards a recreational cannabis approach would also support that measure. Let's support each other. Let's use all of the strategies in our toolbox.
And it looks like we did. We supported each other, and we got marijuana legalized in Colorado and in Washington State. And, we're still good friends, Steve D'Angelo. We correspond. We're on the networks together and see each other at these events, so forth. And he's right. We are a maturing movement, and we have many factions, and we have many different ideas. And that's part of why we're here at 420 Radio, is to provide a platform, a forum. If you've got a show, if you'd like to call in, if you've got any ideas, just send us an email. Just go to the contact form, 420radio.org. Use the contact form. And if you'd like to host a show, hey, we've got a platform for you. Use the contact form today. And join us in hour 2. We're continuing the Brave Michaela auction. Go to 420radio.org and click on Benefit Auction to see the different items. We got Big Daddy Fink's Funky Roller Rink coming up later tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific time. It's Season 2 debut. That's right, second season of Big Daddy Fink's debuts today. For Wiz Kaliko and Brian the Red, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care of each other, tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll